Hey y'all, it's Tammy, and today we're making my favorite dried bean, butter beans, and I made them into a soup. We're having some cornbread. Alright, today I'm in the mood for some butter beans, and I bought some ham we're going to put in them as well. So I'm going to put my butter beans in my pot. All of them. I'm going to add a little chicken bouillon. And we're going to cover them with water. All right, this ham was buy one, get one free this week at the grocery store. It is cubed ham. And so we're going to add it to our beans. This is going to be like a bean soup. Your water needs to be at least 2 knuckles high over your beans. I'm going to add a little portion of an onion. I'm going to slice it pretty thin. And by the time it cooks, you won't even know it's in there except the flavor. Okay, I'm making a soup out of this, so I'm going to add just a couple of shakes of mustard. This is ground mustard, white pepper, and dill weed. Everybody likes sauerkraut and stuff like that with pork, so I think it would be really good to put a little dill weed in this. And of course, we got to add a little salt. We'll add a touch of black pepper. I'm going to bring this to a boil. And I'm going to boil it for 20 minutes. And then after that, we're going to turn it down to a low simmer until they're nice and soft and ready to eat. All right, they've simmered for 20 minutes or boiled for 20 minutes. We're going to stir them up, add water till they're covered. They really swell up big. And then put a lid on them, and we're going to simmer them until they're nice and soft. All right, we're going to have a pound of cornbread with some really good supper. And you're going to start out using our Volume 1 cookbook, and it's crunchy cornbread. I'm going to show you what I put in mine for the recipe. It's always listed at the bottom of the post. I melt butter in the bottom of my bowl, and I add 2 cups of cornmeal. Now this is White Lily cornmeal mix. In other words, it's self-rising cornmeal. This is my favorite cornmeal mix. It is White Lily enriched white cornmeal, buttermilk, self-rising. All right, we're going to add about a tablespoon of sugar to it. 1 egg. That's 6 tablespoons of melted butter in there. I use butter and oil in my cornmeal. All right, so now all we got to do is add the buttermilk. It takes about 1.5 cups of buttermilk. I like to use whole buttermilk. It's really according to what kind of buttermilk you got as to how much it's going to take, because the non-fat or low fat's a lot thinner and it don't take as much as the whole buttermilk. So if you're using whole buttermilk like I am, you got to add a little extra. Just go by the recipe if you'd like. But when you mix up cornbread, you want it to look a little bit wet looking. Not like real runny or nothing. You don't want it like pancake mix. You want it about like that. So, get it about like that. Now we're going to grease our skillet. I had somebody tell me their cornbread wasn't crunchy on the bottom. The only way your cornbread wouldn't be crunchy on the bottom if you do it like me is if you don't flip it out as soon as it comes out of the oven. And you got to use plenty of Crisco. Put enough grease in the bottom that it's going to make it nice and crunchy. Also, sprinkle it with a little bit of cornmeal mix. Okay. Now we're going to put our cornmeal mix in here. I love the way it smells. Now we like savory cornbread. In my area. Let's not waste any. All right, we're going to get this in the oven at 425 degrees for a good 25 minutes at least. Pound the cornbread, 425 degrees till it's good brown. It's nice and brown and toasty. Don't get it out too soon. Flip it out as soon as it comes out of the oven, upside down, so that it stays nice and crunchy on the top. Got my cornbread in there. And yeah, it's a bowl of butter beans, but I'm calling it soup because I put different stuff in it than I normally do. And I'm going to eat it like soup. It's going to be my delicious supper. That is so good. It is definitely my favorite dried bean. So good. Thanks for watching Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like Mama did. Bye, y'all. Love ya.